Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
We have new leadership at Blizzard. I'm Slidewhistle.
I am Immunization.
And I'm Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag. And yes, after weeks of keeping it quiet, I'm here to announce I'm in charge now. Just call me A-N-L. Aaron, no middle name, last name.
I don't think anyone's going to call you that.
I will force them to. I will abuse my new leadership powers like the Blizzard presidents of the past.
You should be more like a Fran Townsend and block employees and then delete your Twitter 5 hours ago.
Yes, go in, make a big stinky statement, get blasted by your own company, and then run away, question mark?
I don't understand how, she was able to operate in, the Bush era government, but some Twitter trolls were too much for her, I guess? I don't know. I mean, she's just, gone off Twitter now, so I wonder if that means that she's going to be the next to leave Blizzard, because I know that there's also been a few other random people who have left. I know, the head of the HR has left, and as Aaron said, we have, 2 new co-leaders of Blizzard now.
Yeah, because J. Allen Brack headed on out of there, picked up all of his bobby pins and ponytail ties, and said, goodbye, Blizz.
That was a lot of ponytail ties, let me tell you.
All of his Bobby Kotick pins.
Yeah, I think Jeb had to go, right? There's no world in which Jalen Brett's staying would, even if it is a sacrificial lamb, quote unquote, it still had to happen. There's no way he could have stayed.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like it's this innocent guy where he's like, I will fall on the sword because someone needs to go. He is directly implied in covering things up and was at the head of multiple scandals here. It just makes sense. You gotta go, bud.
Yeah, so he has been replaced by co-leaders Jennifer O'Neill and Mike Ybarra, and I don't know, I feel like I don't 100% understand the choice for co-leaders as opposed to one leader, but both of them seem okay. I mean, the Mike guy actually plays WoW at a very high level, so I wonder if that will affect any decisions, having somebody at the head of it actually playing the game. And then it is a good optically that they have appointed Jen as a woman as a leader of Blizzard during this as well. Plus, she's very qualified, it seems.
Yeah, she was the head of formerly Vicarious Visions, the people who did the Crash Bandicoot remakes in the new game and the Tony Hawk remaster that everyone loved. And then Activision was like, you guys are doing a great job over there. Become Blizzard. But yeah, it's certainly a lot of talented employees that she formerly led and now leads again.
Right. And I was actually reading an interview from a year and a half ago about her role in those remakes. And in particular about how when she was the head of these remakes, she was like, yeah, we need to do something about this. Especially in the Crash Bandicoot one, she was like, when I was remaking Crash Bandicoot and Crash's main love interest was, what's her name again? Tana or something like that?
Tana, yes, yeah. Who was scooped out after every single bonus level. Definitely not the 21st century woman she could have been. Yeah,
so Jen was like, we need to change that. We need to make her, less of just an object. Because, Jen was like, she basically looked like a sex doll was being taken away every episode. I mean, every bonus level end.
I guess 2 leaders is also good because obviously one leader couldn't handle it, as has been shown. So maybe at least with 2 people, they could spread out more and get some of these problems fucking rooted out.
Yeah, and Jen also had said that her big things are diversity and inclusion, which was also shown in her Tony Hawk remake, the amount of diversity that they've decided to include in the skaters that you can now play as. So I don't know. I mean, I feel reading the interview made me a little more hopeful that maybe with her at the top, changes will be made,
I'm a little worried about Mike, though, being a top WoW player, because I was reading some interview where he said if you're not elite, he's going to delete your profile or something. It says you're going to check your PvP rank, and if you're not 1500 by the end of it, he makes your computer explode.
That'd be pretty cool. It's the Xbox way of life. Also, I guess he was the guy who came up with the idea for Game Pass that Xbox uses now.
Which is very successful. I do not participate in it, but I've heard that that's a very good thing. So we're getting cool people with great ideas, good eats. That's Papa John's.
Also, I just realized when we said he plays a lot of WoW, we didn't say this man has done all of his Mythic Plus dungeons on a plus 20 level to get the portal toy on all the fucking dungeons. Plus 20s. Like what? Like a month ago he finished that? What?
Yeah, that, and then also parsing in like the high 80s on every fight in Nathria on Mythic. So he's not only playing the game, but he's also way better than us. So
and it's going to be wild as he continues to be amazing at the game and also literally lead the company or co-lead the company.
That's why there needs to be a co-leader so he can get his. Actually, no, that's not a very good joke because that actually happened.
No, yeah,
so what
that
the fuck?
Is the awful culture that they created there.
I couldn't even finish the joke. I was like, that's real. Like, that actually fucking happened.
I think we just really need the information about what Jen's main is. I mean, for all we know, she could also be raiding at a top level.
I heard she was a huge pet battler. She said in a press statement, get ready for even more pet battle dailies. You know how there's that one every so often? We're going to make a couple days out of the week where they're all pet battles. You want your anima, you got to train up your bone storm.
You know, sometimes the pet battles, like the dungeons, have really good stories. And so I actually think they should do that to make more people go to do the pet battles, even though they seem really lame. Those dungeons rock. I was going to ask, have you guys tried them? But I know you guys haven't tried them, so I'm not even going to bother asking.
No.
I have not, no.
Well, you should go try it.
So I have a brief, I saw this today. Someone I knew named Casey, Kasey, got married to a gentleman whose last name was Carey, Carey.
Uh-oh.
Does that feel bad to you? Like you squint your eyes and you're like, this is the same name twice.
What's their middle name? Do we know?
No, I don't know this person's middle name. I just know they're two same names.
What if it's like Carvey? Casey Carvey Carey.
Casey Carvey Carey.
Actually, I kind of like that. It's kind of like a fun like actor name. Yeah, I'm CCC.
I feel like two is a little awkward. But if you do three similar names in a row, then it's almost like a magic spell.
Casey Carvey Carey sounds like a name that exists in Hollywood. Who does it sound like? Casey Carvey Carey. Casey Carvey Carey. Oh, wait, if I say it 3 times, you might come and get
say
me.
Say one more time, they're going to appear behind you like the Candyman and shoot bees out their mouth.
It's okay. We're not in the bathroom, and we are not with the lights off. We didn't spin around a few times, so I think we're okay. The Triple C will not attack us at this moment, although I am rocking with the Triple C.
Do you think she uses a carver? Casey Carvey carver? I don't know what a carver is. I just tried to do a weapon that was a C. Never mind.
Do you think she is very compassionate and caring when she does it? Casey Carver.
Yes. Wait, read the email we got. Wait, are you finding another joke?
Yeah, no, I was just going to throw on the end, but like I know the Triple C is constantly streaming the Carter 3.
Okay.
But yes, we did receive another email, and this one is another one sent from the construct mail of Meldraxis from Girl Learner, and I will try my best to read it again. So here we go.
Okay.
And there's also an attachment of a picture. It's a little red slime, and it says, "Hi, DNR." So I popped this boy into the zombie translator, and it translates to, "Thank you for reading my email on the show last week. My buddy Bernie Extract wants a shout-out. Can you do that for me?" So I assume the slime is the Bernie Extract, him or herself.
Well,
hello,
are you
going to shout out Bernie?
It's so nice to see you. It's such a shame that your campaign fell apart in Idaho or whatnot, but hey, there's always next time, Bernie.
But yes, thank you for your email, Girl Learner, and yeah, there's your shout out, Bernie Extract.
We did it. So I know a lot of people on the outskirts of Blizzard were licking their lips at the quarterly call that was coming up. I was in a couple of Discords where somebody was like, this is gonna be Blizzard's downfall. This quarterly call will kill WoW forever. And I was like, really? Like, we're still doing this?
You know, they're always doing this. There's nobody who is constantly checking on the status of WoW and Blizzard and wishing for it to fail at any given moment than people who no longer play the game, who used to play the game. So I don't really understand it. But like these are the people who like literally haven't played the game in like 5 or 6 years, but they constantly will not stop talking about how they hope that the game fails. So I don't know.
I was trying to find a direct quote from that guy. He's just saying that WoW
Was this
died.
in a active Warcraft like Discord server?
It's in the guild Discord that we're in.
Oh, I see.
Like we're in a fuck ton of them by this point, but it's just like WoW died back in BFA. And like, whoa, that's usually like they're like back at like Lich King or back in
that's
like
an interesting thing. He was like, I was on board for 15 years, but the 16th one,
This is my favorite quote. It's literally dead, bro. People just get baited to buy X-Pack or free-to-play phone games get more content than WoW does. A terrible game like Raid Shadow Legends has more content than WoW does. I don't know about that.
Listen, he's rocking with King. He is still on that Candy Crush game. That is updated daily.
He said, fucking getting world first on Sylvanas, that's nothing compared to lining up 7 blues and using a Choco Crusher.
Okay, wait, here's the last quote. Because it segues into the reading of the quarterly calls I'm about to do. Apparently, Blizzard happens to release their quarterly earnings tonight, not the player or sub count, since they are ashamed to display that anymore. Yeah, it's been a while. I'm looking forward to it. If they go red, even with Burning Crusade stuff, it will be glorious. Like, okay, well, let's see if they went red.
God, who is this? Just get this guy out of here. Was this someone's like brother they brought along?
I don't know. Maybe.
My favorite is that he just is always sitting in like one of the Discord channels by himself, just streaming Final Fantasy with no one watching. I'm like, what are you doing, my dude?
Anyway, I don't know. I don't really know how to read these things, but it definitely didn't go red. It just like monthly users went down. Like Blizzard users was 26 million monthly active users in Q2, down from 27 million in Q1. It's 1 million users that they lost, but all of the properties went down. Even King went down by 3 million. I'm assuming it has to do with like people going back to work or people like actually doing stuff. Yeah, I was just about to say, I
assume with things laxing until the Delta comes and puts us in our houses again. People just probably have to actually go to work now and actually do stuff.
Speaking of the Delta, did you guys see that not only is there the Delta, the Lambda, but now there's the Delta Plus? So I'm like, when are we getting like the Delta Plus Pro exclusive on Xbox 360 or something?
I blinked and it went from Delta to like Lambda, Sigma, and I'm like, where? What are the other ones? What did I miss?
Please get vaccinated, everyone. I was at work the other day and I was filming a group of people, and it's like you can take your mask off if you're vaccinated. And this lady was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to do that." And I literally was like, "How? How have we made it this far and you're still around?"
At the hospital I work at, they're mandating every employee get vaccinated, and if they don't, they are fired. And I'm like, bro, that's a lot of nurses you're about to fire. The nurses just love to hang in there and be like, I'm not going to get vaccinated. And it's like, but why?
It's funny. Like people like right in the field who obviously should know that it's safe and the thing to do, for some reason are like, well, let's just wait and see what happens. I'm like, bitch, like we're like a year and 8 months into this now. You know what happens. No, everyone's okay. Get the fucking vaccine.
Anyway, back to WoW. Okay, this is mostly what I want to talk about. There's going to be just 2 mobile games, 2 Warcraft mobile experiences is what it says, undergoing internal testing. Experiences. The fuck does that mean? Are they just trying to reword
probably
game?
Means that it's not a game. Like our current one that tells you what dailies are up and you can do your little auto chess mode. I would not consider that a game, but it is an experience.
You think we're going to get back our auction house mobile app? That'd be fucking sick.
Man, I miss the Armory app. Like, give me my auction house experience.
I miss the character screen where you could go through all the animations. I used to be like, what does the Pandaren dance look like? And I'd be in class at MSU and be like, ooh, there it is.
This is the perfect timing to combine those two things. You make an auction house app, and then once a month it turns into the auction house dance party app, and you can have your character dance and shit with clothes.
I'm rocking with it. Let's go.
I'll just write it down on my calendar. Oh, I sure would love to log in and see what a night elf dance is, but gotta wait till the 29th.
They said Overwatch 2 reached a milestone that they're going to be showing more Overwatch 2 shit in the next couple of months. So that's something.
I'm excited for it. I don't know. I feel like it's been a slow crawl on it, but I'm fine with it. They can take their time.
I need Overwatch 2 to come out soon because I still feel guilty about Overwatch 1. I'll get announcements in my email like, the Epic Games are starting this Friday. And I was like, I haven't done the last 3 Epic Games. What's the point of doing this one? But with 2, I can get a fresh start. I can try and be epic and current again.
Catch up to the cool kids. Just like how Blizzard is catching up with the cool kids who are making WoW add-ons that don't let you delete your shards by overriding them in domination sockets. They had a bug fix yesterday. Shards Domination can no longer be inserted into an occupied slot. So now you don't need to have the weak aura to tell you not to destroy your gems that should have been there in the first place.
I am not rocking with the Dom sockets and the shards. And also they've continually gone back and forth on these nerfs buffs. We're currently in a phase where they are buffing the Frost and Blood ones, right? By 40% or something stupid like that, just so that maybe they're a little competitive with the Unholy ones. That was basically everyone's best in slot.
Correct. They are doing that.
Why were people destroying gems? You mean just to free up bag space, or if they got better ones?
So if you put a shard into a Dom slot, and if you don't pull it out with the chisel, you could actually accidentally destroy it.
Okay.
People assumed...
I thought it was just no one but me had the chisel. I was like, there's a thing you can just get them out, right?
Because it would do that thing where, if you have a gem socket on a ring or something like that, where if you put it over it, it does prompt you. It says this will destroy that.
I don't think the Dom sockets prompted you though. I think that was the problem. The Dom sockets, if you hovered that shard just for a second and accidentally put it in, it just went and it would go in, and that'd be it, I guess.
I feel like they should definitely give back those gems to the people who had them deleted then.
Spoiler alert, they will not be doing that. Go back and get it.
Oh, that would suck if you use all of your Stygian embers and upgraded it all the way, and you're like, oh, I just want to put in my one that's better for Mythic Plus, and then just accidentally yeeted it into the void forever.
Should have bought your Stygia extractor. I like that I can pull them out in and out, but why do I need to have an item to do that? I guess for fantasy?
So this would only happen if you didn't have that thing? Because I had the thing.
No, you can still do it. Why do we need this extra item to pull out the gems? You know what I mean? Why not just let us pull them out whenever we want without having to buy an item?
To trick people in that 2 days it takes to get the Stygia for it. It is really silly, especially because it's not if it was one thing where it was 300 Stygia and you had to buy it and it was a one-use thing. I mean, I guess 300 is a little high, but if it was a one-use thing and you had to keep getting them, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. But 2,500 is not a lot for something that lasts forever.
They didn't really tell us about it though, right? This item, you just have to kind of know it's on the... what if you don't use Wowhead? Or what if you don't listen to the podcast or whatever, and you're just playing WoW, you got in a fight with your wife earlier about who ate the last Doritos, and you're trying to play some WoW, and then you're like, how do I get rid of this shard? What do you do? I guess you'd Google it, right? But you wouldn't know inherently. Go to the Bone Man. He has the bone extractor. What? Who? Where?
It is
go on
really
the
weird.
boards and then get yelled at.
Basically the shards in general were not explained anywhere in game. You're right. How would you even know that the shards that you're getting are supposed to go in? I don't know. It's weird because you can get them from world boss drop too, right? So even if you aren't a raider, so you never get the domination gear to put them into, you could still get one randomly. And be like, what's this?
watch as like there actually is a very detailed quest storyline telling you exactly when and where to do this stuff, and we just glossed over it. We look like fools.
Yeah, this is what Sarah was trying to tell us before last week's campaign, where it's like, like, you know what we're doing here in Ardenweald? We're teaching people how to use our Stygian extractor things from Bone Lady and Korthia.
You know, it was actually interesting. They had the person who talked about it at the beginning of 9.1, but those 78 Horde guys who camped out the war mode zone just destroyed her. They killed her so hard she stopped existing.
That was them no longer existing.
And then everyone tried to tell Blizzard, but they had bigger things on their mind than putting a starry moon glade back in.
Oh, we can talk about the campaign that I once again forgot about, but then I remembered because some of those in-game cinematics did not look cute.
I don't know if it was just a bug or something, but yeah, Slide is right. Some of these in-game cinematics that happened this week for the Bastion Uther storyline, their faces looked rough. I'm like, your model in-game looks better than this. And I'm talking like the Archon. We know she has a high-res model because she's looked fine in other in-game cinematics, so...
I didn't notice any sort of difference, but I guess I was mostly just reading and being, like, absorbing lore importance. I wasn't looking at the models as much.
Yeah, there was this, like, when Uther, like, one of the cinematics was, like, super close to the camera, and I was just like, is that really how you look? His armor looked low res, like as fuck. And like he would get out of the cinematic and then like he would be regular res. So I don't know like if that was just us, but it happened on two different computers. So
yeah, but I guess we can dive into the lore significance of this storyline. I don't know. So on paper, it's interesting and cool, but something about whenever I have to quest with Bastion people, I'm bored. I don't know.
Bastion people are the most boring people. I'm like, it's Uther. And I literally was like, is this quest over yet? Can I go? Can I get my video and leave?
Yeah, and then like once you're done extracting his memories, then like there's more. And I'm like, oh, there's more?
Yes, it did feel very long, but we will start with the beginning. So you're in Korthia, and I think it's Adrestus tells you, it's like, yo, we gotta fix Uther. And to do so, we gotta go find the shard of his soul that he lost, that Frostmourne took out. It's hidden somewhere in Torghast.
Ooh, so you're saying we have some more gas to do, baby.
More like Torghast.
Train gassed.
But yeah, so we went into the Torghast, and they put you in an Adamant Vaults map layout, right? Or is that just me? Is that everybody?
No, so it technically was named something else, but you're right that like it uses all the assets of the Addy Vault, so it was cool, especially like if you haven't been able to go into the Adamant Vaults, it definitely would feel very different than any Torghast that you've seen so far. Is whatever, is like your typical Torghast that's in like a storyline that you're forced to do.
Yeah, it's incredibly easy.
How many, was it 2 floors or 3?
2 and a boss, I think, so 3, I guess.
Yeah, it was whatever. Yeah. I'm trying to remember who I even killed and why I killed him for.
The boss had a name, but he was essentially just one of the guys who drag bodies around in chains on Korthia, and he wasn't even that much bigger than those guys. He had like 86k health or whatever, which is not even an elite. It's just a big man.
You know what I realized that we're missing this expansion? We don't have, like, named henchmen. Like, the jailer's the baddie. Sylvanas is a baddie. Helly is a baddie. But, like, underneath the jailer, who's working for him and who keeps reoccurring? Are there any people like that are bad guys?
The closest ones were people that we killed in 9.0 storyline. Like, Davos, Calliope, or whatever the other Forsworn lady, Viraz, like I guess those are supposed to be your underlings that you take out. The Daddy Denathrius, he's that level.
Yeah, it just feels, I think what Slide is mainly saying is that like those are all ones that are outside of the Maw, and the jailers, like immediate people, those are just like people from the other covenants that had turned and joined him, or from other planes of existence, if you count Sylvanas. But yeah, all of his like underlings are just like unnamed guy 1, 2, 3.
Big suit of armor, 12. That was who we faced this time, right?
Yeah, but I feel like the most interesting thing about this vault that we were in was that when we found Uther's crystal, maybe 20 other crystals that were like named, and they're references to other people. They gotta be, but I am not knowledgeable enough to know who all of these ones were. Maybe you guys are.
Yeah, so a bunch of them were just Forgotten Victim, which are just Nax bosses or ICC bosses, where it's like, who cares? Who cares what Bone Storm's original form was? Yeah, there was a bunch of like vague names, like Guardian of Naxxramas, the Betrayed Father, the Blood Queen, who is obviously, I forgot her name, but the one from ICC.
Blood Queen Lanathel.
There you go. The Grand Magister, the Champion of Peace, the Holy Lifebringer, the Golden King, and the Archmagus Mentor.
Okay, so the Golden King's totally Anduin, right? Should we have grabbed that one, or is that not Anduin?
I don't know, because like I don't know who else it would be, because these are things that shards that would have been taken by the Lich King, right?
I don't know, because like the Blood Queen Lanathel, we killed her. Like, I didn't think that she was ever attacked by Frostmourne.
I don't remember if she was turned or if she willingly joined. It's possible he may have slain her and had her join. I don't actually know much about her story.
I feel like some of these generic ones are like the other paladins that are supposed to be important that died with Uther, like the Champion of Peace and the Holy Lifebringer.
Yeah, I think you're right. That makes sense, especially since they are then directly shown in Uther's memories that you go into after this. But also, just like before we get into that, this area with all these shards, like, is this the area that, like, in the cinematic at the end of Sadi, like, the jailer reaches his hand into, so his hand's just, like, coming in there and, like, grabbing out Sylvanas' crystal that was laying on the floor next to Uther's?
He's just tinkling through a couple other ones, like, no, not that one.
Oh, hang on.
Behind the spice rack. Oh, there it is.
He's like, yeah, these damn naming conventions. What the fuck is hers? Like, I don't know.
Oh, God, she could be like the Forgotten Lady, the Fallen Ranger. This is stupid. Weren't we supposed to have names on these things? Weren't Big Armor Joe 12? Wasn't he supposed to do this?
I also did find out really quickly Blood Queen Lanathel's storyline, and I did not know she was a blood elf. She's one of the blood elves who followed Kel'Thas into Northrend. She brought Quel'Dalar. They helped fight back, and then they all died and raised by the Lich King. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
We could restore her. Isn't that weird?
That is weird. And, like, I guess I just don't know why, like, it did feel weird to me. It was like one of those quest lines where it's like, collect 1 out of 1 soul crystals, and then it's like, sorry, all of you other ones, you don't matter right now.
We got a lot of bag space. I could have hit all those souls. Like, why would you not bring them all?
Well, because I guess you can't bring them back from the little bit there.
How
Those
do you
are just
know?
parts of them. Well, because, I mean, we took Uther's, but we had to jam it into Uther's chest. We would have to
You'd
find
a bunch of other
Lanathel's
chests.
body.
They're out there somewhere.
Where are you, Cyrdan the Magic, who I saw in the Paladins cutscene, and I was like, I don't know who this is. I'm glad Arthas chopped this man up.
Who?
There was like the cutscene where Uther was made super magic. He was the first paladin. There was Tyrallion, there was Tyrion Fordring, and then there was 2 other guys who were just there.
Oh, there was Alonzus Fowl, who we know from the book is the undead man, undead priest, and then there was somebody else who I did not know who this was at all. I was like, who's this dude?
He was just one of the unnamed crystals in the vault there.
Because we basically just went from the Crystal Vault, we put the thing inside of Uther, and now we're in the cutscene, right?
So
Yes.
then you have to, like, go through his memories with him to sort them out or something like that. I don't know. It's like Kyrian shit.
The big thing you get out of it is everyone sees how troubled his life was, and they're like, maybe being a Kyrian isn't so black and white. And then he goes and remembers when he saw Arthas, and he said a lot of mean things to him, and he's like, I said that from not my heart. As like the Uther you're controlling is like, I'll piss in your grave.
Yeah, so like basically Uther realized that like what had been troubling him for so long is that like the third tenet of being a paladin in the Silver Order of the Silver Hand, I guess, is to show compassion. And he's like, I didn't show compassion when I attempted to slay Arthas. Well, fast forward to him literally calling him like a turd as he's trying to attack him.
Oh, I'm also really upset at that first memory with that unnamed, no-name loser. It told me to kneel, right? Well, I have custom bars set up, and the UI bar they gave you for Uther was so big and so chunky that it blocked my extra action button. And I spent 15 minutes trying to be like, how do I kneel? How do I kneel? What do I do?
You're like all of those fuckers in guide chat. /kneel/wave Gorgath.
Wave Gorgath.
I did finally figure it out, but it was very frustrating for the time being. Also, is this the first person? Like, how is Uther the first person that they're like, life isn't black and white? Like, this can't be the first example. Like, did they just ignore like other memories on purpose?
They kind of said that. Like the what is the Archon's official name? Is like Harassment or something like that. Yeah, like she basically said she's like, Davos tried to tell me this, but I just attacked her with my spear. So people have tried to tell him.
I guess it's because they've never had a broken sigil before. So, like, a real wise dude comes through and he's like, maybe things aren't black and white. It's like, silence, our sigil is doing great. So, we're clearly in the right here.
Not no more.
Yeah, so then basically the Bastion people as a whole decide that they are going to bring the Forsworn into their fold, make a new, what do they call their, like, houses
a
there?
Paragon.
Yeah, a new paragon.
He will not be the paragon of loyalty because blind loyalty sucks. So he being Adrestus will be the paragon of devotion.
Yeah, the devotion to compassion for others or something like that. And,
which, by the way, I just gotta say, the very end of that quest line, you have to click on him to begin it and end it. But during that thing, he flies in the air to, like, cut a sick promo to the Forsworn. And he does that when one individual person talks to him. So I had to wait in a line for, like, 6 other people to go through before I was able to start and end that quest.
Oh, yeah, no, the same happened to Slide and myself. Because, like, he hovers just too high for you to click on him.
Luckily, I have, like, well, I'll go on the flight form and then click on him. But it's just so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I had to wait because I was also in combat with all the other things that other people had spawned nearby and ran over to me. I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta help him kill it, and then he'll fall down and I can turn in this quest.
Why didn't you just shadow meld? That's what I did.
Why didn't you just go invisible? That's what I didn't do.
Okay, well, I will say the Kyrians, man, they bore the fuck out of me. I was so bored in this quest line. I love, though, that they can change their system of government on a fly. They're like, you know what? That one's out. New one, devotion in. Those people that we were just killing before, bring them back. They're back in. Like, let's go. Change it up.
I am just overall really happy, though, that the Forsworn aren't just completely and entirely our enemies. Because I thought it was a cool concept to begin with. And, you know, it, like, from the beginning, we said, it's stupid that, like, they aren't allowed to keep their memories that are dear to them. It's like, I'm on their side here.
It actively made me think less of the Kyrians as a people to be like, I don't want to put my name on this.
And, like, I think, like, we definitely said like, they should be part of the Kyrians. Like, I'm saying the Mossworn, not them. Those are the real baddies. Those are the right-wing Nazis down there.
They're like, not only am I emotional, I'm filled with rage.
Wait, I also do like how during the quest, when you're trying to convince some of the other Forsworn to join you, how long it could take you to convince them. I killed like 10 dudes in a row who were like, I'm not joining. And I'm like, I have to kill you. Please join me. You're going to die.
I would be attacking like groups of 4 or 5, and one by one, Pelicos or whatever is like, you should really switch teams. And one by one, they were like, nah, not feeling it. Like 4 guys in, the 5th guy still was like, you don't have the strength to kill me, to change me.
Yeah, I feel like the percentage of ones that I was able to convert to this new paragon as opposed to like the ones that I had to just kill, it was probably like 15%. Like we wiped out that entire place.
It sounds
It
so
also,
creepy.
there was a random amount of damage they needed to take. There was at least one time I hit someone with a fireball. They were at 98%. Pelikanos is like, join us. And she was like, cool, word. And I'm like, oh, we didn't have to beat you up?
Maybe we should have asked a bunch of them first before we start punching them in the face immediately. Also, how weirdly, like, Zealot, like, join this new paragon or we will kill you. Like, that's how it's going to happen right now.
I know your whole order is dedicated to the fact that you don't like absolutes, but we are giving you no choice. Join our new order or you will die.
Yeah, the storyline ends with them dedicating a new sigil. Oh yeah, Clea got a little promotion too. She has a title now. She's like Hand of Devotion or something like that. That's cool.
Yeah, she's Adrestus's friend. I'm interested. Will Adrestus still be shy and not come to my parties anymore? Because like we used to rat on him to his boss, and the boss would make him go. But I think he is his boss now. So does this affect his Embercourt invitation quest?
Maybe Blizzard was banking on us already being best buds with him, so we don't have to go through that quest line anymore. But like,
I
jokes
sure
on them.
wasn't. He's
I haven't done my
boring.
Embercourt in weeks, Blizz.
Why have you not been doing your Embercourt?
I got sad that they stopped giving me things. They would just give me buffs for the week, and I would do it like Monday night. And I was like, oh boy, nothing going there. Also, once you get to an epic level like us, Hairflip, you get little helpers that just do everything for you. So it just started being a waste of 12 minutes of my life.
Yeah, I like the last time I did it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go around and pick up the quest, maybe find like dude's flute and banjo, and then maybe AFK for 5 minutes and be back.
Millennials eating their avocado, like mana buns, and living in their apartments. I can't think of another. Anyway.
This one room catacomb is 1,500 gold a month. It's perfect for me.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
So she's back in charge. She enjoyed her company-mandated vacation. But here's Growlina. Well, hello there, listening audience. Growlina, back in the saddle, bringing you what you want to hear. I'm back in Korthia, chatting with Tondor while waiting for consumption. Now, you told me earlier that you hate this boss. What makes you say that?
I hate that to do it right, you have to wait till it gets a bunch of stacks. No one ever does it correctly, and I have to sit here for 10 minutes yelling at kids.
Ooh, you are certainly not wrong there, friend. It's no fun to have to make slash roots at a troll druid because they keep pulling at 28. How would you say we go about fixing this problem?
It sounds a bit extreme, but there should be some sort of honor system to earn it. Like you show that you understand mechanics and all that in 5 other fights, and then an NPC comes up and invites you to do consumption. That way people have to earn the right and don't just wander in on it.
Ooh, a bit of a controversial take, but maybe now's the time for some major changes like that. I wish you luck in your pull, and may the Pantheon bless you and keep the horde trollsters away. Until next time, everyone, it's been Growlina. Boy, oh boy, what a hoot. I'm glad your dry spell is finally over.
Last week was your guys' first time in the Adamant Vaults, right?
Yes, actually,
Yes.
the time that we all got our flawless run together and went into it, that was my first time in the Adamant Vaults, correct?
Well, how was it? How was your time on vacation in the Addy Vaults?
It was
I liked it.
the same. I mean, it was just more Torghast. They have big Iron Maidens that open up to either surprises or like a man shooting you, which that was neat. But it was fine.
It is the proverbial Morghast, and like if you have something to do after your Torghast run that you unexpectedly got a flawless rating on, it kind of like forced you to go into it. So I was like, I have something to do in like 10 minutes, so we gotta speed this up.
Well, you don't have to go into it. I think you can just pour it out and it counts the same.
But I overall like it. I like that it's different. There were fun traps and different enemies, a different feel, more cosmetics that you can work towards, like golden versions of the shoulders and back pieces or whatever. And I was lucky enough to get one of those upgrades to conduits, and I feel like that makes it worth it to try to go for a flawless run to try to get those upgrades.
Yeah, I think you only get one a week or something. I know Aaron got one too. I didn't fucking get one. What the hell?
Retribution for that mount in Tazavesh.
Yeah, it just sounds like they only give them out to the best people.
Well, that's okay, because I came out with a cute little golden backpack skull from the vendor for 1,000 Phantasma that I spent all my money on.
Oh, I mean, like, you don't really need to use it for anything else, I suppose.
I wish you luck on making a Mog with this backpack that I can do nothing with when it comes in normal colors, and now it is yellow.
I actually do have a set that kind of works with it. Same color at least, so we'll take it for a spin. I was wearing a new Druid Mog, green leaves everywhere, cute green hair.
I did notice that. I said, where's Spooky Witch Wild Seed? I feel like you were the Spooky Pilgrim for so long.
She just wanted to feel a little, go back to her roots, her entangling roots.
Boo.
I hate you.
Just feeling rejuvenated, regrowthed, you know the vibes.
Moonfire, scratch, rake.
Rip, bite.
Rebirth.
I imagine that's how Garage, this Kultiran naked man, casts Rebirth. Rebirth.
Here comes a rebirth.
And then
Speaking
just like air
which,
horns in the background.
Speaking of which, Immune, you broke the Holy Pact and brought Garage into our raid night. Why would you hurt us like this?
The Holy Pact.
So like I maybe shouldn't have done that. I mean, I felt like I was doing okay, but like just the fact that like for some reason I'm able to heal like for slightly over 2 other healers as my priest, like switching to like my druid where like I don't have like the oh shit like heal somebody up immediately buttons, and I'm probably only like 1.5 healers on my druid, and it like got a little dicey on these new heroic bosses, so I immediately switched back after Terragru, and like I thought about switching back during Terragru after we wiped like twice, but I was like, it's just too much time we've already spent here, and I don't want to make everyone wait as I run around again and get all my powers.
It seemed fine enough. I think it was just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like someone would run into a mechanic just obviously, and then it'd be like they'd fall over and it'd be like, oh no, Immune didn't heal me up because he's on his weird guy.
His weird guy.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so I will just be bringing my priest to all of our groups rating again.
I think it's pretty inspirational. I'm going to be bringing Wigglestein tonight. He's eye level like 170?
Perfect. He'll fit right in.
I think if we had a 4th healer, it would have been okay, because I was watching what was happening. One of our healers was constantly running in fear. I swear to God, I watched him run literally across the entire map of the Terragru. Just, he kept chaining into other circles, and he just kept going and going and going.
He's such a nice lad. I just want to lead with that one. He's such a good boy. This has to be like a Michael Jordan playing baseball thing where like he promised his late father that he would raid, because I don't know what goes on with him sometimes.
My favorite is he accidentally grabbed the ability, the Torghast ability where if you die, you stun everybody. He dies every time. And we're like, why would you take this one that stuns everybody? And he was like, well, I asked. He did ask.
But then somebody else said, like, well, you asked in a way that everyone thought you were joking.
It was so good. But yeah, so we had a little bit of a struggle. We only cleared the first 2 bosses yesterday.
We made good progress on the 9, though. And I think we'll get the 9 tonight. And honestly, overall, the first 3 bosses on Heroic aren't that much worse than on normal. It's just, you need more damage and you need more healing. And then there's a few additional mechanics that really aren't that bad to deal with.
Yeah, we just had a lot of like time-wasty things, like having the wrong powers on Terra grew, or didn't someone disappear for like another like 15 minutes?
Cass had to take her granddaughter to the airport, so we were without a summoner and a DPS for a little while.
Yes, because right when Cass left, Immune decided he was going to go back on his priest, and so we didn't have the warlock to summon the priest.
It was bad timing overall, and I apologize to everyone that I did that. Teaches me.
You just got to have 2 priests. That's it. Get 2 massive priests.
Why, though?
So you cannot get loot locked.
Just have them be the exact same character. And then, like, one gets slightly better gear in one way and one in the other. So I'm like, I guess this is my Mythic Plus priest, and this is my PvP priest.
I mean, what's his face? Mephistios, he has 78 warriors. You can have 2 priests.
And at this point, you're going to need an extra priest. Because, okay, tell me why Immunization raided with 4 different teams last week. I mean, I guess I raided with 3 different teams last week. But 4 was what you had.
On normal on my druid, and then like on normal with our group, and then heroic with another group. And so like I didn't even do any of the same bosses on the same character twice. Like it's not as bad as Slide is making it seem. But yes, I am returning to my roots of like raiding somehow like 6 nights a week.
Because we weren't going to be around Saturday to do 1/2 of the heroic raid with Dr. Jobs, so we pugged heroic with some random people. We found some of the craziest people I think that exist in this game. The minute we got into their voice chat, you could tell everyone is trashed. Everyone's drunk or everyone's high. There's literally no in between. Like, no one's sober.
Which is funny because like we had been drinking at that point too, so we fit right in. But and they also got shit done and like had a plan and like knew what they were doing, even though like everyone was a little sloppy. But I think we'll have to make our way back over there sometime.
Well, they constantly were wiping to like stupid shit because we're doing Ner'zhul, and I'm really really worried about our team getting to Ner'zhul if we can make it there today. Because instead of 1 person to dispel, there's 2 people to dispel, which means that it requires both people to know exactly where to run to. And if you had to ask me what our raid team's biggest flaw was, it's people not knowing where they're supposed to be at any given moment. So we're fucked for a while on this fight.
Yeah, like we can cheese it with my Mass Dispel, but that's only like timed out like every other one. So it might just be more confusion to use it than not. So I don't know.
We definitely do not use Master Spell. I don't think it's worth it with our current group. But with the high drunk guild that we were raiding with, one of them like purposely stood in the wrong spot to blow everybody off, and he was like, "I did that on purpose," and everyone like just lost their shit and was just like, nobody was mad. Everybody was like, "Yeah, fucking Brian!" Like, like what?
It was a hoot and a holler.
So how far do we? No, I know how far we make it. Right, we're gonna hit a wall on Ner'zhul. Right, that's my prediction.
Yeah. So after the 9, I think you can choose to go to the Garrosh fight or the Remnant of Ner'zhul. I think the other group is on the Garrosh fight right now, and they wiped most of yesterday. I don't think they downed it yet. They might down that tonight though. So I don't know what Lynn will say our group should go towards.
I think
he said we should log off. He said, no need to pussyfoot around, everyone. We beat the 9. Go to bed.
We're probably going to do Remnant because I think Soul Render is hard because we were doing that on Sunday and that shit kicks ass. Like, you got to move quick. Like, I wasn't able to make some of the things, and I'm a feral druid. I have speed. And if I was a second too late, I'm just dead to the fucking Spire Dance.
It's also somehow a DPS check as well.
Yeah, it's got a lot going on. It's cool. It's a cool fight, but I think that one's going to give us a lot of hell. So time to get blown off the edge of the map constantly on Ner'zhul.
Boy, oh boy.
So Aaron, remember how we talked about Panzer overrated last week? Our rival guild.
Oh no, I didn't expect a follow-up.
Well, there is a follow-up. Not only is there a follow-up, we found Kim's character. Kim is a detractor of our first ever guild where we knew nothing about any of the politics and we chose a side blindly and we still follow it to this day like a Kyrian.
Yeah, like old Kyrian, like before this week Kyrian.
And Kim, the person who caused the whole split, is better at the game than we are. Confirmed. This bitch was doing plus 18s.
I felt like I already knew that. I mean, she was serious in her efforts.
He was doing plus 18s last season. And I'm like, I never got to do a plus 18 in time.
Kim is nothing if not just the proto Gronk.
What if I told you, though, we did it? We defeated Kim because she server transferred off of Proudmoore.
Yeah, I forget what server she's on, but yeah, she left Proudmoore, and there's only like 3 people left in Panzer Overrated that are actually doing current content. So I think, Slide, you just must have ran into one of them for some reason. I don't know why they're still in that guild.
She went to Kel'Thuzad, which isn't that like a Australian server, or is that a weird server? It's just...
I have not heard of people being on it.
It is weird that I keep seeing that person too. I keep seeing the person who's in the guild Panzer Overrated. So I know we've commented on how sharding has felt before, but it feels just so much more prevalent. Maybe because now, like, we're not always playing in war mode anymore, so we're seeing more different people. Because in war mode, we get put on charge with everybody, right? If they have PvP on, we fight with them. But if you have it off, all you see are Proudmoore people up and down, like everywhere.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, where like when I have war mode off and I'm like just quickly doing my Korthia dailies, I run into the same people every day, or like a selection of like 3 or 4 of them. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw you yesterday. It's kind of interesting. It's the same vibes of like the people that you see like on your commute to work, like on the train every day, that like for some reason get there at the same time as you and sit in the same train car as you, and like you don't know anything about them, but you see them every day.
Shout out to Little Caesars. I see you out there questing all the time.
Press 1 for Crazy Bread.
1.
I do wonder, what if they tweak the numbers? So remember when we were going to merge with other servers and everyone said, no, we're fucking not. And they were like, whoa, Proudmoore really wants to, okay, well, let's maybe make Proudmoore specific shards or make it more prevalent.
Yeah, because even when I'm just like rocking in Ouroboros, like 95% of the people there are Proudmoore. There's like a few random people from like other servers, but like we fill up the entire city with just Proudmoore people. So they definitely did something. I don't know.
Do people, okay, listeners from other servers, if you're on other servers, let us know if that's your experience. Did you see people from your server, Earth Spike or whatever? Like, I don't know. How does that work?
If I ever see someone that's not on Egwin, I just turn my head in disgust. Hashtag Egwin Gang.
Egwang.
Oh, I don't know if we talked about this, because I was just going to make a comment about like the Egwin gang. Like, yeah, they just spit on anybody who isn't on their server. But I'm like, you better get that in quickly, because you won't be able to do that for long, apparently. Because in PTR, they removed it, like the ability to spit on other players.
Is it retail PTR? Because I was seeing it was just Burning Crusade.
I think you're right, but I feel like if they just did that in Burning Crusade, that'd be weird, right? They're probably working on doing it in both, then.
Well, the reason they're doing it...
Can you imagine if Asmongold is like,
They took away the spit in Burning Crusade. Everyone hop to the Shadowlands so we can still salivate.
I think they're just taking it... Like, why... If they're going to remove spit, why would they not do it at the same time from both games? Why would they just do it on PTR for Burning Crusade? Is nobody playing the PTR for Shadowlands? Has no one seen it yet? Because if that's true, if it's just BC, that just really shows where all the toxic players really are, because they're the ones who are spitting on people who have the Storm mount, that like lizard that I have. And that's why. Because the fucking lizard
Yeah, I mean, we called it, like, we've always said that, like, obviously not everyone. We know a lot of nice people who prefer Burning Crusade Classic, but I'd say in general, like, all the people that, like, shit on the current game hopped over there so fast, and, like, even when I played it briefly, everyone in their chat is just constantly talking about how much better it is than WoW Yum, and, like, how, like, I'll never play retail ever again, and, like, it's like anyone who's over there is an idiot. It's like, guys, what the fuck? No one on WoW Yum is even talking about you guys.
It is by and large just a repository for toxicity. It's like Parler or whatever. It's like you give them a space to say their baloney, and then it's like, well, at least they feel heard amongst themselves.
It is kind of weird, though, that Spit's gone, right? Because, like, you can still fart, you can still rude, like, there's other things you can do.
Well, I feel like a big thing of it was this fact that Spit didn't have an animation. If I ride by on my store mount and someone farts on me, and I think, like, the character waves a little hand, it's like, that's just kind of silly. Or, like, /rude is like someone does the chicken emote at you. It's like, oh, well, that doesn't sting as much.
/spit, Aaron.
What the fuck? I'm calling, Mike and Linda on you.
Okay.
Mike and Jen. There you go. Those were their names.
I was like, who the fuck's Mike and Linda? Like, the Bob's Burger? Is that Bob's Burger you're talking about?
Like Linda Belcher.
Yes, I'm going to call Linda Belcher on you. And she's going to say, we really should have called it quits back in 2019. We're not bringing out our best stuff anymore.
Oof.
I still like it. I don't know.
All right, it's time for our top 2 bottom boot medium mooch. Aaron, what you got? What you rocking with?
I've got a big, juicy bottom boot this week.
Boo.
I was out there in Korthia, and I was doing the Fallen Gatecrasher event, which the big thing that you can get out of it is what I thought was going to be a variation on the Venthyr mount, the huge gargoyle guy, which I ended up getting, and I was like, yes, yes! And I flew back home, talked to the Stonewright. She said, here's your gargoyle. I clicked it, and it was the same exact mount. Not even a different color, the same mount, but it had a different name on what the other one was, so I was like, what is this? I thought only Venthyr can get it, so why give us something that you gave us for free 3 weeks ago?
Wait, so you're saying that, like, literally no difference? It's the same side by side?
No difference.
Okay, one's the Mastercraft Grave Wing that comes from the Stonecrusher. What's the other one?
It's one you get from the campaign, right? Or from Renown or something?
So, yes, the one that you got for free is called the Sinfall Grave Wing. And the one I received was called the Mastercraft Grave Wing, but it is, or was, the same exact thing. If you look up Sinfall Grave Wing and Masterful Grave Wing on the mount screen, it will bring you to the same mount.
Okay, I think I figured out your problem. And this is still a bottom boot. In fact, it may be a bigger bottom boot than you ever anticipated being in the first place. I don't think that the Mastercraft Grave Wing, the mount you get from the Broken Gatecrasher, appears in your mount journal.
What do you mean?
It just doesn't exist?
So I'm on the Wildhead article for the Mastercraft Grave Wing, got the mount and learned it. Now there's no mount in the spellbook under that name. Anyone else having an issue? Chailoon just says, yep, just got it and learned it. There's nothing in the book with the mount by that name. Just want to add to this, right now it does not show up in the spellbook before you learn it either. Unlike all the other Covenant mounts from Korthia rares, it's not only after you learn it. You can't see this mount anywhere. You just can't tell that it exists, says Death High Elf. Apparently there's a macro people are using to summon it. Hashtag Shoal Tooltip /cast flyable Mastercraft Gridwing.
What the Blizzard, fix this. I know you guys are restructuring and getting sued, but fix this, please. I earned that through a random drop, and I want to see it.
How does this even happen? Like, what the fuck did they do wrong?
They just didn't code. They coded it to exist as an item, but not as a mount.
Okay, yeah, so if you just do /use Mastercraft Gravewing, it should summon it, and it should appear a darker shade than the other one. How stupid.
And you know I'm going to mess it up unless I set a macro. I'm just going to sit there like, watch this, gang, / and then like put a space, use Mastercraft Gravewing, and then just sit there and say it in /say.
Wow, that's great. That's good stuff.
I hate that. That made me so upset. Well, that's the first thing I'm going to do when I log in tonight. But Slide, what is your TTBBMM?
I got a top 2.
You would.
And it's about my little boyfriend bird, Pepe. He's back, and he's got 4 new beautiful costumes for everybody.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I did get that. And then I said, I don't own Pepe.
Wow, you're one of the losers who hasn't fucking gotten them?
I do. Cubby Bub has them.
Ooh, which she Night Fae?
Yeah.
She has the best Pepe then. This fucking little tree owl carved Pepe. He's like a magical like wood nymph. Fuck yeah.
He's also got one of those very fashionable like shawls that like our friend Grunum Kruik is wearing.
I'm just gonna say it. I know you guys don't want to hear this. I think yours is the worst Pepe.
It does look kind of derpy, but like I think all of them are good. I don't think any of them are bad.
Oh yeah. They're all good. You know what? My big thing is so all the ones feel like they changed them to match. Like for Necrolord, he's literally just bones and green goop. Awesome. The Kyrian one, he's got like little mist under his feet. He's got a lot of armor on. His eyes are scary blue. But the Venthyr one, it just kind of looks like a gray Pepe that they didn't do much with. You know what I mean? Compared to the other ones. He just Pepe in a costume. The other ones are actually
he's got that stupid pilgrim hat that they were like, this is defo in vogue.
I think you're right that it's the worst of the 4, but I still like it. So
No,
I will be rocking with it at raid tonight.
It's still cool. It just is the worst cool. What about you, Immune? What's your top 2? Bottom boot, medium boot?
I also got myself a top 2 this week. And it's just overall, I feel like we are starting to get some more gear rolling and the keys are feeling easier again. I feel like within the next few weeks, maybe I'll be able to clear some more 15s and make my way towards maybe getting Keystone Master again. At least I'm not in a rush. We have a while, but you know, I just feel it feels good again that we're able to down a 15 and we're very close and didn't have many mistakes before. It's just that we didn't have like the gear to like pull big enough and clear fast enough like 2 weeks ago. You know, we were struggling with 14s, and now last night we cleared a 15 and it didn't feel bad at all, honestly.
Yeah, we got to get that gear rolling, and I mean, clearing 15s gets you more gear next week. So just a great system. It feels good. It feels like a really good system right now. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I know like I kind of shit on the Mythic Plus rating system before, but I'm digging it right now. Like it feels fun.
We haven't reached that point where we're scrounging for like 2 points yet. I'm sure once we get there, we're gonna be mad. But for right now, sitting at like 1800 feels pretty okay.
Yeah, I guess my other only thing I foresee being annoying is that like if your last thing that you really need to like bump yourself over is like fortified and it's a tyrannical week, you're like, well, I guess I gotta wait until next week to even try that.
Or I guess you could do a 16. If you do a 16 fortified, doesn't that kind of cover it for both? So you have that option, I guess, at least.
That's true.
All right, well, with that, we're leaving for now.
We're never coming back. This is our big announcement.
No, we're not going anywhere. If you can send us emails at donotrelentlpod@gmail.com, leave us a review on Warcraft Radio or Apple, or follow us on Spotify so I can look at what music you're listening to. What about you guys?
Follow us in life.
Ooh, okay.
I can let you know when I'm going to the pool if you want to see a not chunky but overweight man go swimming.
Well, speaking of what our listeners listen to on Spotify, for you people who listen to Ariana Grande, I just wanted to make it known that she's going to be in Fortnite soon. So, like, let's all like dive back into there.
It's very big in this house.
I'm gonna buy it.
I've heard a lot about it.
Okay, what about you guys? Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me, Alex, or Immunization on Twitter at New Era Alex, or you could follow our podcast Instagram account on the gram at Do Not Relent. I swear someday maybe I'll stream again on Twitch at Immunization DNR, but no promises.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at The Big A Cheesy on Twitter.com. You can read our literary musings at donotRelent.livejournal.com. And you can find me at twitch.tv/AaronDNR. By the time you're listening to this, I already streamed yesterday. I hope it was good. I hope people said hi.
Let us know in the future how that stream was. Okay, goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. Runs away and grabs juice box. Okay, bye.
And remember,
Another down. Do not relent.
do not relent.